Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to UFRL. And tonight is the 100% tier, and we are live from Las Vegas for round 5 of 12. So let's head straight into things. 18 minutes of qualifying, followed by a full 100% race distance event. 20 drivers on show, and a majority of those will be in the pits. Simon and Ivy are the first two heading out on track in the Ferrari and the Williams respectively. Deck saying he's here to hate watch the bird. Well, one of your potential championship rivals, if you race enough, of course, which by the last couple of weeks you haven't been. So maybe if you get on with racing more, you might have a chance to battle with him for the championship. If not, then you won't have a chance. But then again, you've still got tier 1 and you've still got the international tier where you can fight for as well. So you are in the fight for 2 titles. But if you do race, of course, it will be a battle for 3 titles. But obviously, you might want to focus on just the 1 or the 2. But let's see what Simon could do then on his first run. I'm not racing 100% again or Inter. Oh, so you're only going to be on tier 1. Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know. No worries. No worries. But you're putting all your eggs into one. So let's see how you can do in the tier 1 against the bird. Against who else is up there? You got Hazer. You got Pesci. So those are your main contenders, it seems, for tier 1 this season. Right, Simon about to start his lap. Looks like dry race. Thank you very much. Let's see what Simon could do heading into turn 1 for the opening part of this qualifying session here. And here we go, the Ferrari just ploughing his way beyond 2, 3 and 4 through the Koval lane. And now, of course, one of 2 DRS straights here at Las Vegas. Not the best overtaking opportunity, although not a bad one as well if you can get it right. Simon just struggling a little bit on the exit there, but a 26.2 for the first sector. And now we'll head into the tricky sections through into turns 7, 8 and 9 as well. Let's actually finish a race for once, says Wolfie. That will be, I'm trying to think of your name on here, Blaze Bob Jimmy, that's the one. Not worried for tier 1, more for UFRT. Okay, fair play, Deck. Fair play. But let's see what Simon could do. He's going to end on the straight here. And it is the Las Vegas Boulevard beyond turns 12. And it leads you all the way to 13 and then turns 14 as well. But let's see, beyond 13 he goes. And now you'll be hitting your top speeds. What does Simon get up to as he exceeds 215? Closing in on 220, just misses out. And it's 219 miles per hour. And the Ferrari goes straight on. He's made a mistake and Simon has to abort his lap, and meaning Ivy's the next driver. Simon just missing the braking point into turn 14, it seems. And now he will have to abort that lap. And Ivy will enter the fray and go up to the line. And here he comes to Williams. It's a 32.753 to kickstart his qualifying event. You've got Anthony on a lap as well. And let's see where he can go. Obviously, Simon not going particularly quick on that first run. Is parkour going to be... No, parkour's not next. So it will be... the driver of the Aston Martin of Cowley just starting his lap. And you've got Anthony up to the line now. And it will be a 30.990. A solid outing for Anthony there. And ARC Mickey about a second off in a 31.982. He goes P2 in the kicks out. We've got Parkour going second fastest. Kes just entering out. Let's go up towards Vival as well, or Vival rather, in the Haas. You've got Bakey and Viking. Viking Fox goes second, a 31.8. That's a group of tier 2 drivers there. Viking Fox, Parkour, ARC Mickey. You've got Ivy tier 3. Anthony has tier 1 pace. Hence why at the moment he is quickest. Baker Gaming a tier 3 pace driver, so we're still yet to see the tier 1 big hitters, as Baker Gaming 32.476 goes 5th ahead of Ivy. Hazer, one of their big hitters, 31.848. That's a pretty poor time for his standards as well, by the way. He's typically getting more than that. Jimmy is on a lap. You've always got Cowley. I believe this is his 100% tier debut race as well for the Aston Martin. And Destroyer Drac out on a lap for the Haas team, where his teammate is currently occupying, where is he, in 5th Viral. So let's see if Drac can go ahead of his Tier 2 teammate, well, not teammate, but tonight's teammate, but a Tier 2 rival in the form of VRAL. Other drivers, Cowley, obviously invalidated. What would he have set? A 35.7, obviously not his best efforts. You got Jimmy on a lap as one. He is going down the Boulevard Straight. And let's see if Jimmy can challenge in the Red Bull this evening. Trying to finish his first race, I do believe, as well. He'll be hopeful after a couple of failed attempts at that. Fingers crossed for his sake that he can get through. But let's see, we'll obviously have to keep watch on this one. Right, Blaze, Bob, Jimmy then in that Red Bull. Where can he fire up his car? He's just about to come up to the line for Jimmy. It's a 32-0. It's P7 Destroyer Jack 31-3. That's P2 for Destroyer Jack there. A fantastic first attempt for the Tier 2, who is in the Elite tier. There are two separate tiers in this 100% tier. You've got the Elite tier and a Development tier. They all race on the same race. However, you've got 10 drivers battling in the Elite tier. You've got 10 drivers battling in the Development tier. So that's the structure we do. You have two separate tiers that you are battling for. Destroyer Jack won the Development tier last season. He is now racing in the Elite tier. You've got all the other Tier 1 drivers like an Anthony, obviously not Tier 1, but yes, Tier 1 pace. You've got Hazer in there, the Bird's in there. Let's have a look towards what he's doing in a moment. He did go purple through Sector 1, and he is your championship leader as well. You got Merc, you got Mr. Poem as well, Rusted Bolt. So a few drivers still in Tier 1 yet to set a time, and in that Elite tier, of course. So can they challenge with Anthony and Drac? You'd imagine they would be able to. You'd expect Hazer to go quicker as well. So Hazer in the Mercedes is just behind the Bird on track. We've got Kez, ARC Mickey, quite a few drivers trying to get into position here. Got to be a bit careful because the Bird is coming up pretty quickly behind. And let's hope Kezanator has seen him, because Kezanator has gone straight on. And in fairness to Kez, he has gone straight on there. So he did actually let the Bird go, and the Bird now can complete his first flying lap. So let's see where he can go. Will he go quickest ahead of Anthony? He's about to go up to the line. Will it be into the 30s? It will, and it is quickest. A 1:30.878. A tenth faster than Anthony. And to be fair, Anthony should be pretty happy with that first effort to only be a tenth off the pace of the Bird. I think that's a very strong first attempt. Hayes improves. He goes 4 fastest. A 1:31.384 for 383 rather for Hazer. So that Mercedes slotting into the second row there behind Destroyer Drac. You've also got his teammate coming up to the line, Doug. Let's see if Doug's going to improve on a 33.2. No, he's not. Mr. Poem on for a first attempt, as is Merc. And Kezanator, who obviously went straight on and taking an interesting route as well there. Let's go back towards Mr. Poem then, down on the Boulevard Straight. And can Poem fire up his V-Carb into that top 4, where you've got the Bird, Anthony, Drac and Hazer currently occupying those positions. You've got a McLaren of Salty Stevens just starting a lap as well. Obviously Merc on a lap will go towards him in just a moment. Let's see what Mr. Poem can do, burning the remainder of his battery to the line. It will be a 31.9. It's P9 for Mr. Poem, just behind Parkour. Those two were pretty much neck and neck for pace, often through the Tier 1 race that we had through Las Vegas this season. So that was good from Parkour. Obviously, Mr. Poem, though, those two neck and neck again here in qualifying. Willie Fernandez, 1:32.4, his best effort, but he's just been overtaken. And he was overtaken by Merc 31.509, goes 5th fastest then for the team of McLaren. The Papaya with his teammate Salty Stevens also on a lap time as Kezanator goes into the pits. Salty Stevens just about to head onto the Boulevard Straight here. We've also got Rusted Bolt up to the line, and Rusted Bolt goes 8th. It's a 1:31.883 for Rusted Bolt, then still about a second away from the Bird, and Anthony certainly looking the two quickest. But don't forget, Hazer done a couple of runs on the same tyres, and he did improve on the second run. So on a fresh set of tyres, you'd imagine Hazer can push a bit further. Cowley on a lap. Salty Stevens obviously just about to end his lap. Let's go to the gap to the leader as well, so you can see the gaps, fairly large gaps actually, through these early stages of qualifying. Salty Stevens and in the papaya, getting to the line. He goes third fastest for Salty Stevens. Oh, and he's within half a second of the bird as well. That is an impressive time by Salty Stevens. And up into third place ahead of Destroyer Jack, ahead of Hayes, ahead of his teammate Merc. Merc Elite Tier. Salty Stevens filling in as the development tier driver this evening. And there you go, third fastest for Salty Stevens. Very impressive from the tier 2 runner there. As he, I thought for a moment he was going to go for a slip, but he's not, and he is okay. Let's drop back then. Cowley still yet to set his first attempt, as is Kesonator. Kesonator is out on track on an outlap. But let's see Cowley setting his first time. He validates and brushes the wall. In fact, smashes the wall. But the bird goes even quicker. 1:30.808 and extends his advantage to just under 0.2 of a second over Anthony, who occupies second position on the leaderboard at the moment. But the bird going faster on his second attempt there. As for Anthony, he is not gaining anything. Salty Stevens, obviously just saw him go P3. Drac in the pit, Merc in the pit, Hazer back out. And Parkour is not on a lap at the moment. Is she about to go into the pit? Indeed, she does. For the Aston Martin. The majority of the top 10 just about finishing their laps on then. Salty just warming up for next Tuesday. Is it Vegas next week? Is it Vegas next week? Good question. I imagine that'll probably be maybe in a couple of weeks' time. I think for Las Vegas in Tier 2 as V-Val really pushing the limits there and also exceeding the track limits as well. So we'll remain outside of a top 10 for the time being. Viking not on a lap. You've got Ivy not improving. Cowley then. Can he finally get a lap time in when he's not going to in none on the battery? Salty just warming up. Oh, okay, not Vegas. Okay, that's fine. I'm there thinking to myself, hang on, I did the calendars, so it shouldn't be that close together. None of the tracks will be that close together unless it's a mystery track. Obviously, mystery tracks you can't do much about. So that's why when you said next Tuesday, I was there thinking, oh, it must be the following Tuesday. But that now makes sense. You are more talking about Salty Stevens' pace there. Very strong pace. P3 for him. Cowden 35-1 in his first lap. Obviously, was doing most of that in the none on the battery mode. Let's go back towards Cares. Unless somebody else on the lap, you've got potentially the two V-Cubs. Mr. Poem back out there as well. What about the Alpine Rusted Bolt? Rusted Bolt just out there, but his teammate William may be on a lap here. William is on a lap, so we're just going to stick with the Alpine then for his attempt. And can he push up towards that top 10 here in qualifying? So Fernandez going through the Boulevard straight once more. The best overtaking opportunity come the race. That's Willie Fernandez then pushing hard. And as you can see, all on the curbs nicely, avoiding the wall on the outside as well. And Fernandez will charge towards the line out of turn 17. And through into 17 he goes now. And Fernandez with a 31.8 goes into the top 10. 1 second adrift of the bird. But a good effort there by the new Tier 2 runner. Who, of course, earned promotion from Tier 3 last season through some fantastic performances as he was pushing for wins and podiums. As Blaze Bob Jimmy goes quicker, up to P7 for him, and he gets through on Parkour Simon and William, who falls into 10th place now. Mickey out of the top 10. Hazer improves as well. The Mercedes up there and is within 32 thousandths of a second on the bird. A top 2 closing in as Anthony still remains third fastest, waiting for another moment or two before he heads out on track. Your best chance to get out on track is now, because look, there is no one in Sector 3. The V-Carb's just about to get there. But if you want to go out now and have a great opportunity to warm your tyres up, now is the perfect chance. Now is your time to head out on track. Nobody's heading out now. They really need to, because look, you've got all the drivers out on track at the moment. Are Sector 2 going into Sector 3? You want to be getting out now, and there's a couple of Ferraris heading out. There's also 1 or 2 others, so the cars are now starting to get out for their final runs. But that was your best chance and if you decided that you want to go out now, you probably just missed that chance because there are several drivers into the final sector now. But Hazer, does he have enough to go for one final attempt? I do not believe he does. So that may very well be Hazer's qualifying session done and dusted here at Las Vegas this evening, as he does let the Aston Martin fire through, and they are going very quickly. That is Cowley, who, don't forget, 1.6 seconds off the pace, so he is still slowest of the runners. Although Keselowski yet to set a time as well. You would be surprised if Keselowski's not P20 come the end of qualifying. But if he's not P20, he would have done an excellent job to be anywhere but 20th for Keselowski. For Doug in the Mercedes, not gaining on this lap. Still await for the checkered flag as well, but obviously we've still got 1.5 minutes to go here in the qualifying session. So Ivy did just improve by 7/10 on his previous run, 1.2 seconds up. Rusted Bolt retiring from the session, Jimmy following him in as well. So Jimmy P7, Bolt will not qualify in the top 10. Doug 17th, he is also retiring from the session. It's not a full quali session, it is a short qualifying. So Jimmy, Bolt and Doug will not improve on their respective positions. Hazer stays in the pit, William is in the pit, Cowley is in the pit. They will also not be improving as William retires from the session. So you've got Ivy, who is not pushing, well, he is pushing to try and find improvements here. Has he got enough in him? You've got the Ferraris also in Sector 1. Hazer now joining the retiring efforts here. Ivy trying to get a bit of a slipstream from his own teammate, the Bird there. The Bird potentially just offering Ivy something, a little present perhaps. But what can Ivy do on his qualifying attempt in the slipstream of the Kick Sauber? Is that Keselowski or is that Mickey? That could very well be ARC Mickey as Ivy to the line. It's P16 and that was indeed ARC Mickey, but the final drivers just crossing the line now. 15 seconds to go, meaning we are down to the final runners. The first of those is Anthony, and Anthony is on a potential pole position lap here. He is improving by 3.5 tenths of a second here in qualifying. We will head towards the Bird, who is on a qualifying march. His Sector 1 split, 2 tenths gained. He is running well, as is Anthony. They are going to be potentially close here in qualifying. Who will take pole? But can Anthony take it away from the Bird to kickstart the end here? The Ferrari is straight on beyond the Boulevard Straight as Anthony goes quickest by more than 2 tenths of a second from Bird. A 1:30.580. What an attempt from him. Keselowski will qualify P20. Baker Gaming P17. Simon is into the pit. He will not be improving. Destroyer Drac currently 5th fastest. Can he find any more time in the final sector? Drac to the line. He will remain in 5th fastest. Mr. Poem onto the second row. Salty invalidates. Merck, can he find anything? Can he contest for a for 2 row start there? Front row 1 or 1-2. It will be row number 3 for Merck. Not enough. But what about Bird? Bird invalidates. Incredible. Bird has invalidated. He will not be on pole. And he will have to settle for a second position in qualifying. And that will be that. Anthony wraps up a first UFRL pole position. It's a 1:30.580. Phenomenal as he fends off the Bird for pole position. What an effort by Anthony. Hazer and Poem on the second row. Merck alongside his teammate Salty Stevens on row 3. But an amazing effort there by Anthony to secure pole position at Las Vegas. Yeah, absolutely amazing. We are going to get the link in for the Discord into the TikTok. It would be great if somebody could do that for the Twitch as well, whilst I do just get it into the TikTok. Just 2 seconds to Ray, who obviously asked earlier. So there you go. That is the invitation link to go for the Discord. We do a trial system as well, so you have to pass a trial to get through into league races, but we do race 5 times per week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are all pace-based. And then you've got Friday tonight, obviously the 100% tier, and tomorrow is an international tier race, which is a 50% race distance. But yes, as you can see, the full classification here for qualifying, and Anthony beating the birds for that pole with a fantastic lap time. Hazer P3 from Poem, Merck from Salty in an all papaya third row, Destroyer Jack in 7th with Jimmy 8th, Parkour and Simon lining up in the top 10. Willie Fernandez out qualifying ARC Mickey with Rusterbolt, V-Row, Viking Fox, Ivy, Baker Gaming, Doug, Cowley and Kesonator at the rear of the field, here ahead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Yeah, that won't work, unfortunately, Wolfie. I've seen what you've tried to do. I can do it, though. I can do it. Don't worry too much. We'll pop it into the TikTok channel as well. Just give me a second. And paste that. There you go. So it is now in for both the TikTok and the Twitch. Couldn't get turn 3 right, says Hazer. Obviously making an error there, but still a solid qualifying position that I'm sure you'll be relatively satisfied with. Although you did obviously make what you feel is a mistake, and people make mistakes, that happens. Yeah, let's see what happens here in this Grand Prix. I'll be back in a couple of moments' time.
Welcome along to Las Vegas. Saturday night's all right for driving. Well, it is here tonight as F1 takes over the entire city and the Formula One circus comes to town. "17 corners, 3 straights, 2 DRS zones and the glitz and glamour of Las Vegas as we race around the 3.8 miles of Sin City. The strip has been taken over to become a straight tonight, commanding top speeds of around 212 miles an hour.
Right, and we are back, and we'll be kick-starting this Las Vegas Grand Prix in just a couple of moments. But let's see how things will get on. Going into turn 1, you want to keep it nice and clean, nice and steady, as a 10-second countdown has begun. Here we are, the lights are starting, it's 5 red lights at Las Vegas. And it's go, go, go! And Anthony gets away well. The Bird trying to battle, but he has no chance. Anthony leads into turn 1, and around the outside goes Hazer, trying the long way round. But the Bird holds on to P2. All of the medium tyres up there. It's Anthony, Bird, Hazer and Poem and Salty up into 5th. But Merck has dropped to 13th. He's had an atrocious start. Parkour from Jimmy. They are having a battle, but Merck has made the loss. They are going side by side ahead, and it looks like the Aston Martin of Parkour squeezes through on Jimmy and up into 8th. Then it's Mickey from Viking Fox, William, and then you've got Merck. What has happened to the papaya? As off track there goes William, and Merck surely will get the job done here on Fernandez, and indeed he does. William loses out, Merck back into 12th, but he's had a poor start to this Grand Prix. Viking up into 11th. He's had a pretty decent start. Parkour still in the top 10 with ARC Mickey up there as well. But Anthony and the Bird are the two charging away from the field. And this is going to be a big race for the competitors this evening as Merck trying to take another place, this time on Viking Fox. He wants to make his way into that top 10 quickly, and he's making his way through on Viking. And up into 11th place goes Merck, who looks pretty quick down a straight here at the Boulevard. Going to be under threat though as Viking Fox goes for a narrow line to get a battle with Merck, who hangs on there as Poem loses the DRS train. Jimmy now closing in on Simon through the early stages, and can Jimmy find his way through on the Ferrari? He's going hard in on the inside at turn 1, side by side, Jimmy with Simon still together. Looks like very minimal contact if any, and Jimmy bypassing the Ferrari, and up into 7th he flies. Jimmy, next target, Destroyer Drac, who is in the top 6. He's had a good start, Salty Stevens as well. Let's get the position changed on for you as you can see. Up 1, Salty Drac and Jimmy. Merck down 6 positions. We did say it was a poor start. He's obviously taken a couple from the likes of Viking and William since then. Cowley's gained 4, Viking up 3, got Simon and Mickey both up 2 apiece. The likes of Merck, William as well, Vosterbolt, Ivy, all down several positions. Missed the start. Well, it's been a pretty manic start, as you can see from that graphic, with the positions gained and the positions lost. But the front runners have all got away pretty well, with Anthony, Bird, Hazer and Poem still in that top 4. They're still trying to keep pace with this rapid trio of Anthony, Bird and Hazer. And let's get the lap data on as well. So if we go to a driver, you can see the top right what tyre they're on as Merck now makes his way through, this time on ARC Mickey. The Bird also getting his way through. We're going to go to the front because Bird and Hazer got their way through on Anthony. And there you go, the prancing horse losing out in the end, and that allows for the Bird and Hazer to take him straight away. Obviously down the Boulevard straight you get so much top speed with the DRS playing to your advantage as Hazer gets the fast lap on lap 2. And now we enter the lap 3 out of 50, of course. A nice round number there as Jimmy goes for the move, this time on Salty. Around the outside, he made a move before, and now he's trying to get another one, this time on our Salty. And can he get it? Jimmy is going to be side by side here. But he loses out in the end. When you have a little look down the inside, or even around the outside, he does go for the move around the outside, but Salty covers him off. Parkour does not get too involved in the action, or does she? Yes, she does. She's trying to go alongside, but she doesn't have enough and has to back out of the overtake there. Jimmy just not quite managing the pass on Salty Stevens. So Cowley receives the first penalty, a 3-second time penalty for Cowley. He was a late call to reserve tonight for the Aston Martin, but he is here. That top three still together. The Bird, Anthony Hazer, Poem stuck on his own at the moment. And you got a pack of Drax, Salty, Jimmy, Parkour, Simon, Merck in there as well. Ruster Bolt down the order behind Ivy. I do wonder if Ruster Bolt has picked up some front wing damage potentially in this Grand Prix. He's had quite a disappointing start as Anthony straight away gets through on the Bird and up into P1 again goes your pole sitter Jimmy. Through on Salty Stevens and up into the top 6 he goes as the Aston Martin air Parkour seems to squeeze her way through. Does she? No, she doesn't. She's made a mistake and Parkour is down to P12 and she might be about the pit. Parkour's made a mistake and into the pit she goes. Drops to P13 and has front wing damage on the front right for Parkour. As Merck is around on the exit of turn 1, the Papaya McLaren, and he's retired. Merck has retired. He'll have to take a penalty for that. He has retired on track, but Merck there, he is out of the race. Had something, I do wonder, he was around a group of Salty, of Simon and Mickey and V-Row. That sort of group he was around. I do hope it was not the two Papaya McLarens getting involved in business. Certainly don't want the two coming together, but Merck has lost out here and is retired unfortunately on track, so that will be a penalty going his way. But obviously, will it be a penalty to another driver as well? Has there been a collision, or did he just spin it? But either way, let's go up the field. Hazer back ahead of Anthony. Anthony has had something happen and the Bird's lost touch as well. The Bird has lost out to Hazer and Anthony as Viking's out, and that will be a full course safety car. Viking Fox, and there you go, that is the V-carb. He is well into the wall on the exit of turn 12. Incredible how the V-carb has landed there. One of the potential development tier title contenders has crashed out early here at Vegas. Wow. Will the title be heading his way? Well, he's got a lot to do from now. Almost approaching the halfway mark of the season, and he needs to pick up some strong results starting next week, really. And next week, is next week the reverse grid race? I think it is. Next week is the first ever UFRL reverse grid race. So that will be in the 100% tier. So that's going to be a challenge, especially for the elite tier drivers. Cowley, well, he has picked up a 10-second penalty. By the way it will work for next week, if you are listening, so all of the development tier drivers will start at the front, the elite drivers will start at the back, and then you will have all of the reserves. So the development reserves and then the elite reserves. That is how the system will work for next week. So development drivers, you're starting at the front. Now, it may well be Kesonator could very well be a pole position for that race. Obviously there will be no pole position point, as there isn't anyway. But yeah, Kesonator could definitely be starting on the front row of the grid for that race. So that'll be another thing to note. But a full course safety car, and there you go, drivers now will be exiting out of the pits or heading into the pits, potentially even on this lap. Most of them, in fact, 11 drivers opting not to pit on this first safety car. Safety cars already increased for this race as well, so it's increased safety cars, increased red flags, which is one of the reasons, I suppose, for the Viking Fox one resulting in a safety car. But if it was standard, I think that would have been a safety car anyway, in all fairness. But yes, Hazer, Anthony, Bird, they are still in that top three, but it's not in the order they started in, because Hazer has taken the pair and he is now leading the Grand Prix. Poem still there in fourth. Can he keep pace with that front three? Well, obviously he doesn't want to be near the back. Track position seems to be king at the moment for these drivers. If you don't have the track position, you may very well find yourself losing so much time, significant time as well, to those who you feel like you've got the same pace as. Let's see then. So will any of the drivers think about a pit stop now? Doesn't look like it. Vival keeping himself nice. He does not cross the white line on pit entry or pit exit at all, so that's nice. Woody Fernandez, you've got Bakey and Ivy. Destroyer Jack, Cowley and Jimmy as well. You've got Parkour, Bolt, Doug, and then obviously at the back there, Kesonator. Viking Fox leaving the session following his unfortunate retirement. But let's see what Kesonator opts to do. He is last place, so he can pit if he wants to. And it looks like he is heading into the pit, so Kesonator deciding he will not be using those one lap hole mediums. He does half cross the right line, but he'll get away with that just because it's not a full cross. He hasn't, for example, gone, oh, I'm going to pit, and then made a decision not to at the end. Go on, Simon, let my teammate cook, says Anthony. Well, your teammate is currently in the top 5 as well, so the two Ferraris look like they could be on for a belting result. And again, before the race, I would have said the Papaya McLarens could have both been on for a belting result, but Salty Stevens and obviously Merck not being able to put it together. So that's why, especially Merck. Salty Stevens still up there in 6th, but Merck obviously will be disappointed by his result. So we'll still wait on Hazer and Anthony. But which driver now is the favourite to go on to win this one? I mean, it's got to be one of those top 3. Hazer, Anthony, the birdie, all been very strong so far through qualifying and the early stage of the race. Obviously, the bird did have a little mistake earlier on, whether it was a mistake or a bit of contact, one or the other. But he did obviously drop down to P3 behind Hazer and Anthony in the end. Can he pick it up after that will be the next question. He will be very much hopeful to succeed. But yeah, we'll figure that one out for him. I'm cooking for once, says Simon. And Anthony, how's your rear end, says Hazer. Trying to find out of Eddie some information on his rival. Interesting. We'll see how all the drivers get on as our Kesonator getting close to the rear of the pack. I don't think the safety car will be in this lap, and it certainly won't be now. So we'll go for another lap here. Yeah, increase safety cars, increase red flags to, you know, because we have not had that too many over the past couple of seasons, so that's why we have decided to increase the number of safety cars. We've never had a red flag in UFRL, even though they've always been on. Certainly on this game anyway, the whole duration of this game, and we race 5 times per week, we have never had a red flag. Anthony, keep it going, tasty, saying to Simon. And Anthony says, ask the bird he liked it enough to go for a nibble. Well, that suggests there was a bit of contact between the bird and Anthony. That may have been when the bird slipped down to P3 as well. Right, Kesonator's now caught up, meaning the safety car will be in at the end of lap 7. So lap 8, we will go racing again, and lap 9, we will have the DRS activated again for all the drivers to battle for position, that top 10 who will end up there come the end of the event, and obviously more importantly who will be on the top step of the podium. Again, you get the feeling it has to be one of those top 3, but in terms of outside chances, I mean, Mr. Poem, he couldn't quite keep with them, but he wasn't too far off. Obviously he won't be able to have like a Merc around him to keep the pace at all, so Mr. Poem may end up finding himself with a lot of work to do here. Rusted Bolt, P16. I think he will be happy that he's able to get rid of those mediums and go on to hard. He may have even had to repair his wing if he had any damage, because he's not looked particularly strong in this race thus far, Rusted Bolt. But can he pick it up through this race? He tends to go a little bit disappointing in qualifying, but then he picks it up in the race. He'll be hoping to achieve similar fates tonight here in this race. Right, let's see what else is going to occur. But there you go, safety car is in this lap. And we'll be watching for Hazer. But when he decides to go, get the telemetry on as well. For his getaway, he will hope to keep it nice and clean, nice and steady. Just waiting at 50 miles per hour. Can Hazer get the getaway he needs and escape away from the field? He goes full power, and Hazer is away from the rest, but Anthony has had a bit of a slow getaway. The Bird's all over him here. Will the Bird be pushing for a move? No. Poem from Simon, from Salty Stevens. That's your top 6. Mickey, Vival, William, Bakey as well in the top 10. Parkour getting through on her teammate Cowley. Cowley side by side with Jimmy. Jimmy going for another one round the outside on the exit of 2, 3 and 4. Has he got it on this occasion, Jimmy? He succeeded at one move earlier in the race. He missed out on the next one. He's going for the next, and he gets the third one. Through he goes on Cowley. Third time lucky. Cowley slips, and Rusted Bolt moves up into 15th position as well. A couple of places there for Tier 1 pace drivers, Jimmy and Rusted Bolt. Up into the top 15 they go. Certainly top 15, as the Bird there was getting close to the rear of Anthony. Mr. Poem is sticking with them. He seemed to be struggling against the pace of Hazer. Hazer's pulled 1 second on Anthony here, and the Bird's probably thinking, I am not enjoying this part. I did not expect this. He did not expect a 1 second gap. He needs to push for a position here, and I think he is going to go hard in on this overtake on Anthony. He has no choice. The Bird knows he was losing out to Hazer, and then he goes through, and up into second position goes the Bird, and he certainly has now closed the gap on Hazer ahead. So they want to all avoid any damage into the wall there. Hazer seemed to have lost a little bit of time as well. So all of a sudden, the Bird has caught up to the rear of Hazer. Kesnate receives a time penalty. And there you go, as the Bird trying to gain anything, but it's lost out to Anthony. Anthony, in the end, has got a quick enough car to gain the place on the Bird. He's trying to gain another place on Hazer. Jimmy is out of the Grand Prix. He's retired for some reason in the pit. But what can Anthony do? Ivy and Drac are battling. You've got Bakey with Bolt, and you expect Bolt to come out on top in that one. But these guys staying in. Oh! The Bird tapping the rear of Anthony incredibly close to the Ferrari. A prancing horse trying to ride on the Ferrari, but he can't do that in a race. And he just about keeps it clean enough in the end. Very close. Fine margins there from the Williams. Almost clattering into the Ferrari. Poem, Simon, Salty, Mickey, Kes receiving another penalty. As Vival, William, a gap back to Ivy. But it's a massive battle also. The Bird going for it again. But he's lost some time to Anthony. A lot of time, because Poem has gone through. Poem up into third ahead of the Bird. The Bird has lost another position. It's not been the start of the race that you would have expected from this man, the Bird. Hazer then is losing out to Anthony. Poem might say, you know what, I'm going to go for the place. He's decided not to. Bird from Simon. Even Simon's having a little look. Salty as well. Salty's going for the move on Simon now. Let's go back towards the Bird. Here he comes side by side down the inside on Poem, and up onto the podium he goes once more as Poem drops down to P4. Simon though trying to have a charge, but he's 1 second back now. Poem is sticking with that front three much better on this occasion. Salty, Mickey, B-Row, William, that's the battle with Simon over 5th position down to 10th, or 9th rather. Parkour 2 seconds adrift. That includes a group with the likes of Destroyer Drac, the reigning development tier champion, and also Rusted Bolt, the reigning elite tier champion, down in P14. So we go back on with Hazer on the rear of Anthony here. Is he going to get himself close enough? Parkour receives a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Currently in P10, so that would obviously cost her possibly all the way down, even behind Doug potentially, into P15, so that could cost Parkour 4 or 5 places as things stands. Kesonator 3 seconds again. I think that's 9 in total inside 10 laps for Kes. We'll check on with that actually. Penalty situation is 9 seconds. Cowley's got 13. Parkour with 3, so that's your penalty situation. Let's stick with that for the time being, as the Bird closing in on Hazer, going for the overtake. Kesonator has made a mistake on the exit of turn 12, as the Bird has a look on Hazer, does not get the move done and stays in behind. Poem still there as well within 0.6 of a second. He'll be happy with the race he's had so far. I think he's been sticking with that front three pretty well. A very quick front three as well, so very nicely done from him. Simon under attack now from Salty. Salty going for the overtake on the inside line. Simon on the outside line, and Simon backs out, allows for Salty to go through. Mickey battling here with V-Rao. Is V-Rao going to make the place? No. William drops him behind as well, so V-Rao just losing out in the end to the Kick Sauber. Got Ivy from Parkour. Ivy doing very well to be in this sort of battle. Fair play to Ivy. Around Parkour, Destroyer Jack as well. Becky Gaming, by the way, in this group with Rusted Bolt as well. So Ivy and Becky Gaming, tier 3, with Parkour tier 1, Drac tier 2, pushing for tier 1, Bolt tier 1. Incredible, and off goes Parkour! Parkour loses out to Destroyer Jack. She has gone completely off circuit and loses out to the Haas as well. Incredible. And will Parkour try and recover that 11th place that she lost just a second ago? Well, Destroyer Jack is not going to make it easy, but I think Ivy's going to be the one who may be about to lose 2 places at a bare minimum here, because Destroyer Jack is going to go for the move, but is that done just before the DRS here? Does that allow for Ivy to get a DRS? Yes, it does. Ivy's got DRS. Drac has lost out to the pair. Parkour's got both and up into the top 10 as well. Even though she's got the penalty, she has made some moves early doors here and is ahead of Ivy, who's got through with Drac because Drac did not end up having DRS. ARC Mickey going through on Willie Fernandez and moving into the top 7. So ARC Mickey will hope to charge forward, but William and V-Rao still there, hanging on to the Kick Sauber. Simon and Salty have also progressed on from that group and are together, but they are over 1 second ahead of the Kick Sauber of ARC Mickey. Destroyer Drac back ahead of Ivy, and up into P11 goes the Haas. But you've still got Rusted Bolt behind them. I really don't understand how Rusted Bolt is so far down the order. He's not been gaining any positions either. He's still on P14. He's in a group with a couple of tier 3s, a couple of tier 1 to 2 drivers who, I'm going to be honest, they're not known to be the quickest tier 1 drivers. Parkour obviously making her way up to tier 1 this season. Destroyer Jack tier 2, very quick in tier 2. Ivy Baker Gaming quick in tier 3, but they're not the quickest drivers we've ever seen in there. We had Warrener in there and Jack Amu as well not long ago as Rusted Bolt. Rusted Bolt there really pushing on the curve as well. Yeah, he seems like he's struggling though here tonight. Can he make his way up the order is the question. We're going to make our way up the order here because Hazer, the Bird and Anthony are going at it again. This time the Bird, what's happened to the Bird? He's made a mistake. The Bird has made a mistake there. He's clattered potentially into the wall. Anthony's got through. Poem will follow suit as well. The Bird attempting an overtake on Hazer on the inside. Did not make it work and loses out to Anthony and Poem. It's probably one of the worst showings I've seen from the Bird in a long time, I've got to say. I know he's still in 4th place. He's not exactly down the order, but I think he'll be disappointed with the way he started this race. 13 laps in, it is not going the way the Bird would have liked it to. And Willie Fernandez now up into 6th. He's caught up to Simon, impressively so, and has overtaken the Prancing Horse and up into 6th now. 1.5 seconds back from Salty Stevens. Hazer, 1 second gap over Anthony. Anthony trying to pull him back in. He does. 8 tenths, 9 tenths now. Anthony is trying to push the car just to stick within DRS range of Hazer here. But the Mercedes looking comfortable out in front. As Anthony loses a bit of ground there, riding over the curb. That would have cost him a little bit of time as well. He is just about within that DRS range. 1.5 tenths in hand. And he will retain DRS. Will he be able to overtake Hazer is the next follow-up question. And as you can tell, no way near close enough. So Hazer will preserve the race lead from Anthony, Poem and the Bird. The Bird has a look on the inside once again. Just not quite there for him. Not happening for the Bird at the moment. Further adrift, V-Rao with ARC Mickey going for the move. Ivy, Bakey, got Bolt, who's under attack from Doug. This is how disappointing it's been for Bolt. He's under attack from this time another tier 3 driver in the form of Doug. ARC Mickey losing out to Ivy. Here comes Ivy. Ivy though has got through on V-Rao and up into the top 10 he goes. A flying getaway from Ivy. who is now closing on Drac. Mickey is side by side with V-Val, the tier 2 rivals, squabbling side by side. ARC Mickey on the outside, he gets through on V-Val and makes his way up into 11th, but V-Val will go for another move. Down the inside goes V-Val. Has he got it done? Yes, he has. A little bit of a slip on exit. Mickey may attempt to move on the outside once again. Side by side they go. It's V-Val who ends up ahead of ARC Mickey. Very close running there, but V-Val holds on to P11 in the end. Back up towards parkour as she is all over the rear of Simon in a challenge for 6th place, with William just in front as well. All over P6s. William, Simon, Parkour, Drac, Ivy, V-Val, Mickey, Bolt, Doug, and Bakey Gaming, who has dropped behind both Bolt and Doug recently. Parkour will have a DRS and ERS to burn as well. You've got Hazer, Anthony, Poe and Bird. They are still sticking in that top 4. No position changes at the moment. But here we come. Oh, what's that? A bit of contact, I think. Bit of contact and look like Parkour on William. Going side by side as well. Oh, Parkour is out. Parkour is out. She was too close to the wall. She bins it. She has absolutely binned it. And that is destroying the Aston Martin car. And out of the race goes Parkour. And we have another full course safety car. And it's a disaster for the race leaders. It's disaster. Anthony Hazer, Bird, Poem, up in flames. They cannot pit. Or if they do, they will lose a number of positions. Incredible. Destroyer Jack and Mickey, who's got Rusted Bolt as well. Quite a few drivers have stayed out, but many of them at the front would not have had much of a choice, because they would have been round the pit lane entry. So that is why they've all had to stay out here. That top 4 in particular, but potentially the likes of Drac and Mickey and Bolt as well, could have all been in there. Did they have a chance to pit? They may well have done. I think that front 4 certainly had no chance to pit. And now, they were obviously hoping that they would get ahead of a safety car as well, which clearly has not worked for them. But now this race has changed, because these 4 drivers at the front, Anthony, Hazer, Bird and Mr. Poem, are going to have work to do to get back up the order here. So now the decision will be, first of all, will you pit? I think our top 4 are going to pit. Get the tyre situation back on. As you can see, 14 laps on their mediums. But surely they're going to pit. They have to. They have to, right? I mean, a lot of drivers have gone for the, well, 5 drivers on fresh hards. And I think all of these at the front are going to go for those hard tyres as well. Yeah, I'll be very surprised if they all stayed out here. And there you go, 1, 2, 3 and 4. They can count up well, because they are all into their pits. And now let's watch how far down they go. Oh my gosh. Look how far they have fallen. All of them are out of the top 10. They were all 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now they will be 11, 12, 13 and 14. They have all lost 10 positions each. Incredible. Now we've got a race on our hands, because all of a sudden we've got Drac, Mickey, Bolt and Doug, who all stayed out under that safety car. They are your top 4. Salty Stevens, what a chance he may have here. He's on fresh mediums. He is 5th. He is a lead runner of the fresh tyre runners. What an opportunity. William is the lead runner of the fresh hard tyre runners. He is in P6. The likes of Salty and William have all got fantastic chances to do something here. But for Anthony Hazer, Bird and Poem, they have now got it all to do in this Grand Prix. Wow. We did say it was going to mix it up as soon as they were stuck behind the safety car, and that has evidently been the case here. But there you go, that front 4, wow. Destroyer Jack, Mickey, Rusty, Bolt and Doug. They'll be happy with where they are, but they will know they're on the oldest tyres of anyone on the grid. I'm pretty sure they'll know that by now. But yeah, that group of 4 drivers, Anthony, Hazer, Bird and Poem. How well can they get through the field? We know they've got pace, don't get me wrong, we know they've all got pace. Our Poem tonight matching it up very well with those 3 drivers, especially in that second stint after the first safety car. But since then, wow. Yeah, P1 to P11, splendid timing, exactly. But I will say, I know obviously you guys are going to be well annoyed about this. It does make the race more exciting from a neutral perspective, I will say that. So watching you guys try and get yourself through the field, you guys are probably the quickest on show as well. Obviously you've got Buster Bolt up there now, but he's on older tyres. Drac, Mickey, Salty Stevens, they are all quick, don't get me wrong. But you 4 are the quickest drivers left in this race, so... And I'm talking, I'm not just, you know, because that would sound disrespectful to Buster Bolt. I'm talking about tonight. Tonight you guys have been clearly the quickest 4 drivers. Good old Kimi Räikkönen. Is that just telling me to have a drink? I will have a drink, actually. Thank you for reminding me, effectively. Oh no, I forgot to connect the drink! I'm joking. Right. Just wait on the safety car restart because it will be in at the end of this lap. I just overtook you, swear I was ahead of you, but okay. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I can't say myself. Obviously, if you feel differently, feel free to send a clip in. If you don't, if you watch it back and maybe see that it was okay, then obviously it was okay. But I don't know. I haven't seen it, and I wasn't quite on board with it because I was on board with a DNF between parkour and a few other drivers surrounding there. So that was what I was watching at that time. So I did get to watch the parkour DNF. And I can tell you, the car didn't look particularly good. The wheels in particular. They weren't going round and round as you would expect them to be. Right. Obviously the driver's now warming up their tyres in preparation for this restart. Doug, not really warming up much, I've got to say. Salty going for it, William, Ivy, Simon. Who's not warming up their tyres? B-Round's not doing much. Baker Gaming's not doing much. Anthony is starting to do some. Hazer, the Bird, Poem, Cowley, Cares, they're all going for it now. And as you can see, we'll get the telemetry back. Destroyer Drac this time is leading. No slips like you done, I think, at Japan. Fingers crossed. The Destroyer Drac will be the one to get away here. The safety car is in. Destroyer Drac prepping to go. Hitting almost 100 miles per hour before he pushes and he accelerates away. Drac is away. Then it's from Mickey and Rusty Bolt. Let's get the telemetry back off. And on their way to turn 1. And there you go. Let's get the stop situation on for you so you know who was stopped. Actually, that's not really that advantage. Maybe we'll just leave it a none for now and let drivers make places up as they go along. Speaking of that, Anthony straight through on Baker Gaming. That means only one thing. Hazer will try. The Bird will try as well. Bird threatening Hazer here. Hazer covers the inside. The Bird switches to the outside. Hazer through on the inside of Bakey as he got the place on the red ball. There's a bit of contact. There was contact between Baker Gaming and I believe it was the Bird. And now Poem flies through on Bakey as well. And side-by-side action here with Anthony and Hazer. Maybe a bit of wing coming off at the ahead as well. There's a bit of wing. I'm pretty sure I saw something. Something flew off a car. Which car was it was the question. Or was it maybe just some debris further ahead? It may have not been any of the wings. Let's see, side by side ahead again. This time with Anthony and V-Row. Anthony up into P9. Hazer's going to go for a place. The Bird and Poem will still go for places as well. What a restart we've had here. Drac is going to be overtaken for the lead from ARC Mickey. We are going to just have a... Nope, we'll stick with this. Because here comes Hazer and the Bird. Both through on V-Row. And they are going to go side by side. Let's have a watch on from V-Row's perspective and move up to the... Oh! What's that? That's a Williams. That would have been the bird. That would have been Hazer involved as well. And Virao. The bird starting to struggle here again. Poem now taking Virao. And he's going round the outside on the bird. Incredible. Surely not going to go side by side through turns 1 and 2. He is, you know. Poem's going for this. Now on the inside line. The bird is going to go all the way round. The long way on the outside. And he has got the place again. The bird hangs on. Poem, though, is going to try and retake the place. He's going for it into P11. Is it Poem? Is it the bird? It's Poem! And Poem is up into P11. Simon dropping behind Hazer. Hazer up into 8th. Anthony's ahead of that Ivy. He's up into P7 now. So those two are starting to gain places. Poem ahead of the bird. Bird is down in P12 on this safety car restart as well. Not ideal for the Williams, your championship leader as well. He has got a lot of work to do. That's a Ferrari of Anthony going incredibly wide to put some pressure on Willy Fernandez. Fernandez holds on to a place in the top 6. But what does Anthony do here? Surely, but he's not got much battery in hand. Ivy's got loads of battery in hand. If Ivy wanted to, he could well and truly burn the battery. And he could, you know. If he wanted to, he could. Destroyer Draclo takes a place from ARC Mickey back up into the lead. Bolt down the inside on Mickey as well. Bolt all of a sudden is up into 2nd. Ivy, William, Simon, who's down the order? It's Anthony. Anthony is down the order. He is down to P15. He's lost some wing as well. Unreal for Anthony. He's going to have to pit there. Anthony is in. Simon, meanwhile, battling with Willy Fernandez. Fernandez up. What's this? A 3-way? That was never going to work. Who on earth? 4 to 3-way back. That's a reset to track there. That's from, I believe, Simon. Simon has reset to track. That'll be a penalty heading to Ferrari's way. But there you go. Who on earth thought 3 wide into there was going to work? That was a bit of a silly decision, if you ask me. Ivy on the read, up into 7th place now, behind Hazer. Anthony hit Willie, says Merck, thank you. I mean, yeah, a couple of drivers obviously not having strong restarts. The bird was struggling. Anthony obviously having contact with William. Now it makes a bit of sense why he's so far down the order. Parker leaving the session. But yeah, make sure you're aware of that one, by the way, of the Simon reset to track on lap 20, please. If that's okay, maybe just note it down. Right. Let's go back up the order towards Salty. Here we go. Salty through on Mickey. Mickey cannot do anything about that. And Salty Stevens onto the podium. We did say he could be on for a good result here. And there you go. He's up into 3rd place. Mickey drops down into 4th now. You've got battles going on further adrift as well. Poem is down to P14. So that must have been some... Oh, well, oh, yeah, that makes sense. He had to, obviously was involved in that 3-way battle, I think. Hazer on Doug. So Doug letting his teammate go by as well. And Hazer's in a good place. He's up into 5th. His nearest rival of anyone who was up there earlier in the race is the Bird, who is 10th place. It's a massive gap. And we did say for the likes of Poem for Anthony. Yes, they were quick, but could they get through the field? Well, clearly for Anthony, he cannot. And Poem down at 14th will be disappointed as well. Obviously, again, it was a collision where those two were involved. And what's this, a safety car? It's a driver, that's Ivy. Ivy absolutely smashes into the wall there. And he has done, and he has picked up massive front wing damage. It's only a virtual safety car, not a full course, but Ivy will have to repair his wing here. On board with Poem we are, and you can see there, no front wing, or minimal front wing, shall we say, for Ivy. So we'll have to repair that into the pits. Cowley on the rear of Anthony now. Let's go back up to the front. Destroyer Jack has a second in hand on Rusty Bolt. Rusty Bolt, they will all be waiting for this virtual safety car to go green again. It's going to be going green fairly soon. I'm pretty certain about that. They want to be careful here. Oh, there you go. It's back. It's back. And that was why Salty Stevens was really trying. Because he knew, they all knew, that it was going to be close going into that little chicane there. on the exit of 14, 15 to 16. They knew it would probably happen around that section. It has. The green flags are back out. Drac, Bolt, Salty, Baker Gaming is through on Willie Fernandez. Fernandez pits. So William, did he pick up wing damage with Ivy potentially? Let's see. Well, he is repairing his wing. He did have a little something from Anthony earlier on, a couple of laps ago, so that could also be a part of that. And a bird, meanwhile, side by side here with V-Rao, and a bird on the outside line does find his way through and up into 7th place. The bird has a massive recovery mission here to do, and he has found himself a position. He's now got Doug ahead of him. And don't forget, Doug's a teammate of Hazer today. He's just reserving, but will Doug try and say, the bird, you are not finding your way through. I am going to stay and sit and help my teammate out. Or will he say, I'm just a reserve, I'm not going to fight you too hard? It's probably going to be one or the other. And again, with the amount of battery that the bird has, he is absolutely loaded. He will get the place here on Doug. Pretty certain on that. Destroyer Drac still ahead, but Salty Stevens overtaking Rusted Bolt now. Doug ahead of Mickey. The bird ahead of Mickey. The bird down the inside on Doug. They will go side by side. Dangerous territory. Drac 3-second penalty. They get through cleanly. The bird has a bit of a slip and a slide. Will Doug fight this one back? He will. He's going to have a look around the outside. The bird has not got any battery to defend it. Hayes a fast snap. And Doug sails round the outside and takes the bird straight back. V-Rao is squabbling here, this time with ARC Mickey. These two have certainly had their battles. V-Rao on the inside, Mickey on the outside line. Can Mickey get it back? What about V-Rao? What about the bird? He's going for the move on Doug. He's going to retake 5th place. And indeed he does. Then you've got V-Rao, who is ahead of ARC Mickey. And up into P7 he goes. Next up for V-Rao would have been a move on Doug to get himself into the top 6 here. A little bit of a tap for the Mercedes as well. Oh, as Doug runs a bit wide, that gives V-Rao a chance. He may not want to take this chance though, because don't forget, you'll be effectively losing the DRS down the next straight. He does take the place in the end. Doug drops in behind there. And ARC Mickey as well. And V-Rao, what is a line of that? What is a line there from V-Rao? So narrow going into the corner. It's really cost him. Well, actually, probably didn't cost him because he's actually going to get DRS out of this. I'm not sure what that line was from V-Rao. Oh, Destroyer Drac, what's happened ahead? We've got Salty Stevens. Hazley are through on Drac. Yellow flags for a kick. That is going to be Kesonator, who was in P11, by the way. He's done incredibly well to get up there. And what's this? Destroyer Drac's into the wall. Destroyer Drac is into the wall. And now he will have to repair his wing. A lot of drivers receiving front wing damage here. Everyone needs to calm down. 50 lap race. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I completely agree. It's a long race. You don't need to be pushing incredibly hard so early on. Hazer is going for the move. He's got the move on both Salty and Bolt. Salty's ahead of Bolt as well. So now can Hazer run away here? He knows the bird is not too far behind. And Hazer will be doing his utmost best to push well beyond this pack of Salty and then Bolt and then the bird. So can the bird catch up to Hazer, or will Hazer run away from the Williams? I know they're P1 and P4, but the bird and Hazer both on the freshest tyres of anyone in the top 10. Well, obviously for Rusty Bolt, for example, and Salty Stevens. Actually, Salty Stevens, he's on mediums, isn't he? So yeah, he's on fresher mediums. But obviously Hazer's very quick. Rusty Bolt is tier 1. Obviously he is on older hard tyres, so it's going to be more difficult for him. And he hasn't exactly shown unbelievable pace this evening as well, so a bit of a struggle for him so far. Anthony then ahead of Kesonator, and he's worked his way up into 11th place as well. As our Kesonator goes a bit wide, William will get through on him. And we'll get DRS as well, so Kesonator losing out to Willie Fernandez in the end. Will he be able to take it back here? We are just on with Kesonator. He's burning some battery. He's going to go for the overtake. Is he going to go out or in? He goes to the inside line. They are going to go side by side here between Kez and William holds on. And in the end, Keznator just losing out there. But Willie Fernandez up into P12. But let's go back up the order towards the front runners here. Hazer, Salty, and Bolt. Simon also overtaking Ivy. Back up into P15 he goes. But what can this group of 3 drivers do? The bird is still closing in at 1.1 seconds. Now 1.0. He's made it. And he's got himself close to that DRS range. He will certainly be hoping that he can stick within the 1 second window. The question is, can he get there? I think he can. He's 8 tenths away now. And this looks like DRS is on the cards for the bird. That front 4 are together. And they are all separated by about 2 seconds in total now. Hazer Salty, who is going to go for the move here. Will he? Or will he not? And he will. There you go. Down the inside. Salty Stevens. He goes for the overtake and challenges the Mercedes. He's up the order. Hazer dropping behind. And it's Bolt. Then it's the bird. Doug is ahead of V-Row. But I think V-Row will not have a chance to take it back. ARC Mickey. Then it's Bakey Gaming. 7 seconds back is Mr. Poem. Does he have any damage on his car? He does. He's got front right end plate damage. And that's why Mr. Poem may just be struggling a little bit after that collision earlier in the race. But here you go. Salty Stevens with Hazer. Salty going a little bit deeper. And into the wall goes Salty. Let's hope for his sake that's not provoked any wing damage. But Salty Stevens will lose 1 to Hazer. Will he be about to lose a second? No, he won't. Because Ruster Bolt hangs on. The bird's still there in P4 as well. Yeah, good evening, Sneaky Turtle. Right, here you go, the bird, down the inside he goes, on Bolt, but he's not made it work. He in fact tried an audacious move round the outside actually, but the bird in the end losing the place, or losing out to Ruster Bolt, not gaining the place, and still outside of the top 3. But you do expect the bird to find his way through and join Hazer at the front of the field. Speaking of Hazer, he decided he does not want to keep Salty Stevens in his DRS here. You've also got a group of Doug, you've got V-Row there. But let's go back towards the bird, because he will find his way through this time on Rusted Bolt. Bolt not defending it at all, allowing his, well, former rival, effectively, of last season to find their way through. So the bird up onto the podium, the reigning champion Bolt dropping to 4th. And we've got something happen. That looks like a kick Sauber of Keznator is off in sector 1. He's really struggling. That may actually end up calling out some form of safety car. It's not. He has got himself back up and running. He did go straight on at turn 5 there, Keznator. Right, V-Row will be under attack here from Doug. He'll be under attack from ARC Mickey. But it's Doug who finds his way up the order. They are trying to go side by side. V-Row, sorry, finding his way through. But Doug will try and take it back here. Doug's doing really well to be in a group with V-Row, Mickey and Baker Gaming has also done an exceptional job here. But they will hold on to their respective positions. Oh! I saw a wing. I saw a wing. Is that Doug's? Is the question. I'm waiting for the game to give us a good view. That car looks okay. Is it the front left? Is there front left end plate damage for Doug? From what I'm seeing there, it looks like it. I'm going to wait to see a better view. But again, I'm struggling to see where his front left is there. Does he have it? No, he doesn't. And indeed, the Doug has lost his front left end plate. Did he just brake a little bit too late running into the rear of V-Row? I think he did. And obviously in the end, for Doug, he's down to P6 with some damage. Further up the field, and the bird is through on Salty. We did say the bird wanted to catch up to Hayes and get into the 2nd place. He has done that, and he may end up finding himself leading the race within a couple of laps as well. So Ruster Bolt, though, he will be much happier in this position. Don't forget earlier in the race he did struggle. He was down in P14, not gaining any positions. He looks closer to losing positions than gaining. He's now in P4. He's on older tyres, but he's up there, and he's got track position. I track position for most of the drivers has been proving to be a critical factor. Obviously for the likes of Hazer, and in the end the Bird, they have found their way through well. But even the Bird, he's 1.6 back from Hazer now. As you can see, it's not all roasty here for the Bird. So more yellow flags. It is for Kesenator again, who's taken a very interesting line into turn 12. He's actually decided to go straight on, but yeah, Kesenator getting close to being lapped here. He wouldn't mind a safety car at this stage. But for the Bird, he's in P1, P2 rather. He's not in DRS range of Hazer either. Let's go towards Rusted Bolt then. Challenging with Salty Stevens. Here we go. Round the outside he'll go. And up into third place onto the podium. Once more he goes. A lot of drivers still will think about another pit stop in this race. Let's have a look at the tyre situation. The likes of Bolt, the likes of Mickey and Drac. Yeah, I think those three are the ones who will still need to pit here. Doug ahead of ARC Mickey as well. Mickey 3 tenths behind. We've got Bakey Gaming for company. Again, Baker Gaming, one of the top drivers this evening, and that is going to be Simon, who has got the yellow flags out. He is back up and running. Let's go back towards Anthony ahead of Drac, and also Baker Gaming is through on Doug. Baker Gaming up into P7 now. I'm saying he's had a great drive. He truly has. For Baker Gaming to be well up there in the top 10 against some very quick drivers. He's done well for himself, as has Doug. And Baker Gaming now going for the overtake on ARC Mickey. He's got the move on Mickey. Baker Gaming is up into 6th place now. More yellow flags. It looks like it's Simon again. It's a safety car. We've got a full course safety car. That's somehow, even though we've got a full course safety car, Kesenator's doing donuts. It's a bit early to celebrate, Kes. If you're listening, it's way too early to start celebrating. Doing some donuts. I think you might want to be patient on the donuts. It's a little bit too soon for that. If you're also Kes, please don't pit on this lap, because the front runners, I can guarantee, are most likely going to pit. Kesenator, please stay out. Just to make it a bit easier for when they try and let you through. Because it is a rule, you have to let lapped cars through off track. You have to. And obviously Kesenator right now was lapped. But these leaders in this race surely may think about pitting. Hayes is going in. I think all the Bird stays out. Now will be interesting if they all decide to pit. Rusted Bolt is pitting. Salty Stevens is pitting. And then there's a massive gap back to Vival. I think the Bird is in a bit of trouble here. He's in a bit of trouble. He's the only one at the front who was staying out. And this group of drivers, well, from what I'm seeing, they are all going to come out 2nd, 3rd and 4th anyway. There is a Haas coming round, that's Vival. Is he ahead of that McLaren? He's going to be close, but the McLaren's ahead. From what I'm seeing there, I believe that should be the McLaren ahead, is it not? Am I wrong? I might have been wrong. Now, maybe it is Vival ahead of Salty Stevens then. Very close though. But for Hazer, he's in P2. Rusted Bolt is in P6. He must have changed his wing. I'm going to check that. I don't even want to go through this whole list, but I am going to. Because I'm pretty certain Rusted Bolt... Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong thing, and this is what I want. Look at all the front wing changes. Oh my gosh. Rusted Bolt, there you go. Front wing changed. So many drivers have picked up front wing damage here. Wow. Yes, Rusted Bolt did replace his wings. On mediums now, well, that may make sense as to why his pace wasn't quite there. Earlier in the race in particular. He's now repaired his wing. Let's hope for his sake that was the reason why. But look at the Bird. 14 laps on hards versus Hazer, who was on fresh mediums. I'm not sure on the Bird strategy call here. And he won't want to go for another pit stop as well. He won't want to do a pit stop now, because surely he's just going to lose so many positions. It will just end up losing it all. I do believe as well he has let Kesenator through. So thank you to the Bird on that one. He won't be getting a penalty because he has let Kesenator through under the safety car. So he learned, at least he learned his lesson on that. At the very least. If there was anything that we've had from this race, he learned his lesson. But yes, Keselnator then obviously allowed to be unlapped due to the ruling. And he stays in P16. Let's see what happens. Mr. Bird still leading, but again, look at the tyre differentials out there. The Bird with VRAL with Mr. Poem. I think Mr. Poem decided, I don't want fresh tyres, I prefer track position. I think that was what he was feeling. Destroyer Drag may be feeling the same way. Maybe he felt, I want track position, I don't want to pit. Which is surprising because he still has mediums to go, and he could have easily went mediums to the end from here. Yeah, we'll just wait for everybody to catch up to the safety car. Obviously, for Keselnator, will he end up catching up or not? Difficult to say. But he's got a long way. I'm not sure the game will let Keselnator catch up, though. I mean, Simon will be lucky if the game lets him. I think Cowley will be okay. I think Cowley will catch up on this lap. I think for Simon, he might be able to get there next lap. For Keselnator, not certain Keselnator is going to catch up even on the next lap, which I think is the last chance. I think the Bird is going to have better tyres in 15 laps, maybe less. Yeah, I do think it's realistic. He's going to try and hit again, maybe for mediums or even softs later on in the race. I do think that's likely. But the issue is, if we have no more safety cars from now until the end, he's in a bit of trouble. If we do have a safety car from now until the end, he could be in a very strong position. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know what advantage he's got out of this. If he had pitted, he would have been there with Hazer. He would have been P2, I believe. And he would have been on mediums like Hazer. I think he would have been in a great position. But obviously not pitting, well, he has given himself a disadvantage in this race. Not with a pit stop with the normal pace. I've got to pray I can get these mediums to the end. Okay, that must be... Are you Cowley? I'm presuming you must be Cowley then, going by that. Sorry, your name isn't Cowley, so that's why I've had to guess. Oh, what's happened here? What's happened here? Destroyer Drax got a 10-second penalty. Can he serve that? He's going to hope he can serve that in the pits. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah, it does. So you can serve it at least. Obviously, you can't do anything with that because, one, you're serving the penalty, and two, got to factor in not just serving the penalty, but, well, you overtook a car under the safety car. According to the game, obviously. So you will lose out. As he lost out to Simon there, he might have done. It would have been close anyway. The mediums are not good, I can tell you that, says Anthony. And then Ivy. Okay. No worries, Ivy. So yeah, let's go back up. So we will have another lap under the safety car, obviously. Drac and Keselnator are both going to go. Interesting that Drac did decide I'm going to pit and I'm going to run to the end on these mediums. I think drivers are starting to realise that track position is near enough king, which may have, again, it may have explained why the Bird wanted to stay out, but I feel like he had to pit there. Because the gap back to like 5th place for these drivers at the front was like over 16 seconds at that time. So for me, they had to pit. Even like, I don't know, I can understand like Mr. Poem staying out and VRAL, I can get that. But for the Bird, for me, he should have pitted. Listen, he might go on to still win this race. Or get 2nd place or whatever. He might still be on for a very strong position. But he could have put himself into an even better position by pitting there, for me. I think Hayes has got the strategy right. Whether or not he'll win the race remains to be seen. But I would have said Hayes' strategy was the better strategy compared to the Bird. Right, safety car will be in this lap. So let's get that telemetry back on again, and we will be getting ourselves back up and running. We'll go to the penalty situation, why not? So we are just waiting as we are into the final half of this race here. The bird is now going. It's a very late call to go there from the bird. He's actually going to be under pressure as well. Salty Stevens with Virao. I do wonder, was that a legal safety car restart or not? It was very close to the line from the bird. Hazer's going to go all guns blazing here. He's going to go for the overtake on the bird, you imagine. Is he going to go inside or outside? He's going to go to the inside. It's going to be tight to the wall. The bird goes further out wide. He's going to hold on and say, no, he's not. And there is a move, and there's contact as well. That's a wing. That may have been Mr. Poem's wing. I do believe that might be some wing damage for Poem. And I think the front left end plate I can see has disappeared. Yes, it has. Baker Gaming challenging with Anthony, and Anthony's found his way up into 7th now. They are going side by side here, and there you go, Anthony squeezing through on the Red Bull, and up into 7th place goes Anthony. And then you've got ARC Mickey from Doug, who is in the top 10. Ivy, Simon in P12, a penalty for Kesenator, who is ahead of Cowley as well. On board. We're going to go to the front now because the bird has re-overtaken Hazer. Wasn't expecting that, but the bird has got no real cause of battery remaining, so he will be overtaken again by Hazer in just a moment, I'm sure. He's got a fantastic exit there, though, the bird. Out of turn 16, so he's done remarkably well to hang on to that. Anthony has overtaken Mr. Poem, meanwhile, now up into 6th. Poem, obviously, with the wing damage. He's got Bakey and Mickey behind as well. ARC Mickey and Doug in that top 10 is well within closing distance. And there you go. Mr. Poem has gone wide. That allows for Bakey to go through. That allows for Mickey to go through. And I think Doug will be next. Mr. Poem, well, he stayed ahead of Doug, so that was just a mistake from Mr. Poem in the end. Obviously, again, with the damage, struggling with that. And he's lost out in the end to 2 drivers, Baker Gaming and ARC Mickey, finding their way through. And meanwhile, Hazer back up into the lead of the race. He has overtaken the bird and leading this Grand Prix. Still with DRS, oh, they are in a long DRS queue here. Even Mr. Poem with the damage is still in this. We go on with Rusted Boltland. 3/10 the gap to Salty, make it half a second. Can he make his move on Salty Stevens? But he's losing some time now. Salty Stevens, 2/10 of a second from Virao. Is he going to go for a move and target his tier 2 rival? No, he's not. The one man who is going to target a rival will be the bird, who is rivaling and bypassing Hazer. And back up into the lead of the Grand Prix goes the bird on the older tyres. Destroyer Jack also finding his way through on Simon. And up the order into 13th position goes Drac. All of the bottom 4 still with the penalties. Anthony on Rusted Bolt. Is he up the order? Yes, he is. Into 5th place. Doug also got through on Poem. He's up into P9. Cowley and Simon. Simon is into the pits. Cowley has made his way up into 15th place there with some damage on the front right as well. And Simon retires from the Grand Prix. No points for that Ferrari. Hazer back ahead of the bird. And back up he goes into P1. So Virao 3rd. Salty 4th. Anthony 5th. And Bolt in 6th. Will your winner come from one of those 6 drivers out in front? Or will we have a comeback drive from anybody outside of this top 6 here? With Mr. Poem down there. Mr. Poem with a 3-second time penalty in P13. Not going the way Mr. Poem would have wanted it to tonight. I've got to say, he might be thinking to himself, maybe I should just focus on going for that international tier this season. Where he's got a couple of international tier titles, he's also just narrowly missed out on some, including last season, narrowly missing out in the end to Mano for that title. The bird back ahead of Hazer. Virao to Anthony, who was on the inside of Salty and got through as well, Anthony, and made his way up into 4th place, a pole sitter, don't forget, in the Ferrari. 15 laps of racing to come, and Anthony through on Virao. He's up onto the podium now as the bird and Hazer side by side. The bird will hold on, Woody. Hazer has a look on the inside, but look at Anthony. He looks so quick. He is purple through 1, 2 and 3. Poem receives a penalty. He will retire from the race. But it's Bird from Hazer, from Anthony, V-Ram and Salty in the top 5. Salty Stevens is getting closer towards the front. Hazer's getting closer and has taken the lead from the Bird. He's up into P1. Bird from Anthony. V-Ram and Salty still there. And now Anthony round the outside of Bird. Has he found his way through? He has taken second place. Remarkable from the Ferrari. And up the order goes the prancing horse. And he will dance his way towards Hazer for the lead of this Grand Prix. The pole sitter was down the order. And now he is vying for victory. Thank you for the information as well, Mark. I didn't know about the underfloor damage as well. So obviously that would have been a real struggle for him. As Keselate is out. It's a safety car. We have lost Keselate from this Grand Prix. And we've got another full... it says virtual. It is, I can assure you, a full course safety car. Now this is what the Bird was waiting for. Because the Bird will pit now. But how many places will he lose? This is going to be the question. He'll be delighted as a safety car, I think. But let's go on the tyre situation and see how many drivers will pit. He hopes nearly everyone. And the bad news for the Bird is nearly everyone is staying out. Like, you literally just saw that in the rear there. The most, oh my god, like anyone pitting? Is anybody going to pit? Anybody at all? Oh my god, nobody's pitting. Nobody's pitting. What is this? Nobody's pitting. The Bird is going to be literally P13 and last. Okay, yes, he's on fresh tyres. Yes, he can make his way through the field. But he is plumb last. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, you've done well, Anthony. You've done well. And to get yourself up the head of the Bird as well. Fantastic overtake, I will say that much. But the Bird, well... he can still win from here, I will say that. He's still got pace to win. But he's made it so much more difficult than what he needed it to. He really has. I mean, I didn't see the crash, Kez, but obviously it was not a particularly nice one, I can say that. I presume you just slipped, but obviously you can let me know if you want to what happened exactly. I think you did go off a few times from what I see though. Like this corner, you had gone off a couple of occasions straight on. And at turn 5 as well, you went off once or twice. So yeah, you have been struggling a little bit here at Vegas. I've not been this close to a win in months, says Hazer. Well, here's your chance. I mean, obviously, I know you've got the stream on. That's super obvious. Sorry. Obviously, I know you're on the stream. As I think the safety car, would it be in the snap or would it be in next snap? It would be in next snap, right? I'll keep talking to you then. I'm presuming you've got the stream on, so you pretty much get updated with what position the Bird is in. He's currently P13, obviously. But I will pretty much be updating as there is a car entering the pits. That's Destroyer Drac. So Drac's pitting. So now the Bird is up to P12. There you go, 1 place gained. Front wing damaged and the understeer took me into the wall. How are your tyres looking, says Anthony? Always looking for information on Hazer, hey. But there you go, Destroyer Drac. Going for 1 lap fresher medium tyres. I mean, that's a strategy, cool, isn't it? Yes, I got told, Mr. Poem, and I saw the wing damage. I didn't know about the underbody damage. Well, I wouldn't know about that. But yeah, obviously, very painful when you've got any form of damage on your car. Obviously, we know wing damage is repairable, front wing damage, but things like underfloor, side pods, rear wing, yeah, they are pretty much atrocious to try and drive with. So, yeah, very nice. Right, let's see when Hazer will opt to bolt it on this occasion as well. Don't forget he's got Anthony behind him. In terms of possible contenders to try and win this race, Bolt P5, you've got the Bird as P12. Outside of those four, you're struggling for genuine contenders. Damn, I feel like you're lying, but we move, says Anthony. Yeah, it was trash dark yellow for both. Ouch. Wait, is that front wing, or are you talking about rear wing? Please tell me you're talking about front wing. Rear wing will be absolutely awful with any damage like that. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't even... I would question how you were even able to drive the car with some rear wing like that, if it was the rear wing. I think my tyres are on 15%. Think your tyres are on 15%. Do not mean know your tyres are on 15%. Interesting. I don't know, I think he's playing games there with you, Anthony. Right, speaking of games, the games are going to restart. Front wing, okay. That, obviously it's still terrible, but if it was your rear wing, that would have been even more dreadful. But yeah, still really bad. Right, we want that. There you go. Let's get the telemetry on once again. For the safety car restart, Hazer has gone. He is bolted away. And that will be that for that. So let's get the telemetry off. Anthony still in second. Those two will try and help each other to pull clear, I think. I think they've got to. Because they know that this man, the Bird, who was charged round the outside of Cowley and is up into P11, he is trying to make his way through on the fresh tyres. Drac also through on Cowley. William losing out to the Bird, who's up into the top 10 now. He's gained 2 places on this safety car restart. A little bit later there from Destroyer Jack. But what can the Bird do? There's another one. His teammate Ivy lets him through. Bird is up into 9th. That's 3 places on the safety car restart. We told you he'd get through the field. How quickly can he do it? He is doing it quickly. He has now got Doug for company. And this is from 8th position. Can he make it happen? We are pretty much going to just stick with the Bird, I think, for this sort of period, because we know he's going to be the one pressing for overtakes. We know he wants to catch up to the leaders, and he's going to go for another one, as he's actually not going right now. He's now beginning to burn, and Doug will power his way through. He's going to go for the overtake on ARC Mickey, but he's not successful. And he was got other moves. Now he's got the move on Mickey. Up into P7. What about the Bird? Bird is going to get the move on Mickey as well. Yes, he is. Bird is up the order into 8th place. You've got William battling with Ivy behind. You've got a couple of place swaps ahead with Anthony ahead of Hazer, Salty ahead of V-Row. So the top 4 have all changed places. The Bird is through on the inside of Doug. Can Doug fight it in any way possible? No, it is not possible. The Bird up into 7th. He continues his fine progress on this safety car restart as Doug drifts so far wide. He might be heading to Miami. That's how far wide he was. ARC Mickey now makes his way through on Douglas and up into 8th. But they are battling again. Doug back ahead of Mickey and up into P8 he goes once more. Douglas holds off against a tier 2 runner. So you've got Rusted Bolt in 5th. Salty Stevens with a 3-second penalty. He was trying to keep pace with Anthony and Hazer. Those two are sticking in that top 2 nicely. Kesonate says, let's go ARC Mickey, who's down in P9 now. But he's still having a solid race. But what can Rusted Bolt do? Closing in on V-Row, riding over the curb as well. But what does Rusted Bolt have to offer? He is getting extremely close to take over 4th place. Then you've got the Bird in the rear who wants to take over from Baker Gaming. That's over 6th and 7th. Here comes Rusted Bolt. Getting the places he. One man who is definitely getting the places the Bird is up to P6 now. Bolt not taking advantage of V-Row and stays in 5th. So the Bird is on the cusp of the top 5. Cowley is out of the race. It's a safety car. We've got another full course safety car because Cowley is out. And Destroyer Track is just pitting again. He's saying, no, I don't like these mediums. I'm going to probably go for softs to the end. It's a final safety. I think this is the final safety car in this race. I think it is. And this means that all of those at the front cannot pit. Or if they do, they are going to drop to last. Well, what do you do now? I mean, fresh softs to the end sounds nice from this position, I think. I'm pretty sure... Never mind, that's not what Destroyer Jack's doing. Gonna be honest, Destroyer Jack's strategies tonight, mediums to mediums again? I mean, you might as well just go for soft tyres to the end from this stage, surely. You've got to go softs. Just go softs to the end. You've got to do that, I think. If you're going to pit now, you've got to just go for it. Go for softs. Otherwise, you're probably making a mistake if you don't go for soft tyres here. Yeah, for me, if you're making a pit stop at this stage of the Grand Prix, you've just got to go for softs. But we'll wait and see if anybody does pit again. I mean, Anthony might go in, potentially. Obviously not guaranteed to do anything whatsoever. Anthony Arson Hazer once again. Can I have a tyre update, please? Kersley's everyone pit. Everyone but the bird pit. There you go. That's what I believe is the best option. Just make sure we've got the TikTok back right. He's at 35%. Let's see then who is staying out. Who pits? Most drivers are staying out. William is pitting. So William is into the pits and he is going for the jugular. And this is surely going to be soft tyres to the end. Surely. And he's the only driver to do softs to the end as well. I was expecting far more drivers to contemplate the softs. I mean, I'm sure they did contemplate it. But the only driver... I think this is the only driver in the whole race, is it? I know, we have had a couple. You're Kesanate and obviously Poem, but Poem have retired on the softs. So, going on to softs, sorry. So the only driver who has actually used the softs in this race has actually been Kez. We didn't even see that. So... And that was obviously a fair while ago. So William is the second driver in this race going for softs. Front wing update from everyone. Yeah, I would agree with that, actually. Oh, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? There you go. One driver going for softs, everybody else on older tyres. Now what's going to happen? Black front wing. Well... Yeah, to be fair, I agree. It is black. It is a black front wing. Obviously all the drivers will be just warming up their tyres now, ready and preparing for that possible final restart. We'll just wait on the call to be made by the safety car. We'll just wait for the call to be made by the safety car. Anytime today, and it's finally happened there. Right, safety car is in this lap. And I'm pretty sure it is the final safety car this evening. So whatever tyres you're on, VRAL for example, 27 lap old hards. I don't know why you've gone for that, but you are. Okay. Right, but Anthony, he will be leading us away. And now, he'll be going for glory. Because here we go. Anthony restarts the race for us. And we are back for 8 laps of action. The bird gets a move straight away on VRAL. And up into the top 5 he goes. He is flying away. Can he make another move? He will have Rosterbolt ahead of him. Hazer here. Hazer is through as well. He's trying to charge towards Anthony. He's having a look on the inside of Anthony. He drops behind. And you got Bolt on the inside with the bird trying to get the pace on his former rival of last season. What's Destroyer Jack doing? He's down behind Willie Fernandez now. Fernandez on the softs, up into P11. Mickey and Doug, side-by-side action. Looks like there's damage there for Doug as well. Mickey is up into P8. Let's go back towards the front. Anthony. Oh, no, let's go back here because Ivy side-by-side with Douglas. The two Tier 3 rivals. Ivy on the outside, Doug on the inside. Doug squeezing his way through and hangs on to 9th position. William is on soft, don't forget, he's going to be pushing for some moves. He might find his way into the top 6 or 7 come the end of this. We're going to go back towards this battle. The Bird will be going quickly. We know he's been quick through the second phase down the long straight, down the Boulevard straight. He's not going for it again though. As V-Val receives a 3-second time penalty. And here comes the Bird. Round the outside. Will this be his biggest move today so far? Yes, it will. He takes one. He's going to try and take two. Salty on the inside. Bird on the outside. Now he's side by side with Rusted Bolt. Bolt trying to hang it in there. The two champions and runners-up of last season going side by side. But is it Bird? Is it Bolt? One will fly, one will fade. And it's going to be a continuation of side-by-side action into turn 5. Still keeping it clean. Bolt on the inside line, the Bird on the outside, and Bolt hangs on the older tyres. A remarkable effort from Rusted Bolt, who defends it cleanly and very well. And he does a superb job there. Doug passing Destroyer Jack up into the top 10. William now up into P9 as well. Ivy has dropped back, unfortunately for the Williams. So we're just going to watch here if the Bird can now recover to take over again. Well, AFC Mickey is closing in on V-Val. Baker Gaming, William also in that pack. Let's go back up towards the front. Salty Stevens, don't forget, he's got a 3-second penalty, meaning Rusted Bolt, as things stand, will be on the podium. But for how much longer? Because he's losing out on that 1-second window. ARC Mickey, he's got the move this time on V-Val. Has got a bit of a battle further back. Doug, Destroyer Drac and Ivy. Ivy round the outside on Drac, and he's got the place as well. A superb triple battle here. A triple threat of Doug, Ivy and Drac. And Drac is into the pit once again. There's an interesting strategy call here from Drac, and he's sped into it as well. Might be about to retire. Not really sure why. He had about 5 laps to go. You might as well take the points from that stage. But he is retiring from the race. Right, Anthony then. He is going for this battle here with Hazer, with Salty, with Bolt. The Bird still only 5th here with 5.5 laps of racing to go. He's still got enough time to win, but he needs to make some moves. Can he do it on this lap here? Again, he's got fresher tyres than anybody in that top 5. The freshest tyres on the whole field is William in 9th place, who is closing in on Baker Gaming, V-Val and ARC Mickey as well. That is a 4-way battle for 6th place, and I think William would be delighted with P6 in this race. But here you go. Oh, Salty's out. Salty has crashed. It's a safety car. It was not the last one. We've got a final full-course safety car. Unbelievable. Now what do you do? Do you all stay out again? Do you all pit? What do you do? It's a safety car again. We've lost Salty Stevens without just 10 drivers. Oh, these drivers have struggled here tonight at Las Vegas. Wow. Now what do you do? Do you stay out or do you pit for fresh soft tyres? Anthony decided not to. Hazer Bolt. The Bird is in. The Bird is going to run the jugular. He is going to take a risky strat. Mickey, V-Val, Baker Gaming is pitting as well. Ivy will also pit. Doug is also pitting. Half the field pitting, half are staying out. 5 on the older tyres, 5 on the softs. This is going to be a crazy, crazy ending here at Las Vegas. We're going to have a final few lap sprint to determine tonight's winner and tonight's podium. And it's going to be an exciting event ahead. Again, Anthony Hazer, Rusted Bolt, Mickey and V-Val all on older tyres. And V-Val's are 31 laps old. Then you've got UFRL William in 6th. The Bird is 7th. Ivy 8th. Baker Gaming P9 with Doug in 10th. Who would end up winning and who would end up down the order? Anthony says he's on 90%. Yeah, I mean, I think you're probably on about 99%. No, obviously I'm joking. You're probably not actually that high, to be honest. I mean, you might be getting... Oh, I'm not certain. What's the percentage per lap here? I will actually be able to find out information on that. Just give me a moment and I can find out roughly how much you'll be getting per lap. Las Vegas is what we want. So you're probably going to be getting, what, 1% per lap? So you're probably on about 20%. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less even. You'd imagine it probably won't be less. Somewhere between 20, maybe to 25 max, I'd say. For the hards, that is. What about for Hazel? 16 laps on mediums. I'll be honest, I'm on 10% highest. Wow. 10 DNFs, yep, I know, Deck, I know. 10%? No, you can't be getting 0.5 a lap. Oh, and then again, we've had a couple of those under safety car, right? Okay. Maybe it makes a bit more sense then. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. People pushing a bit too hard, I think, going for overtakes. Yeah. Why is there so many DNFs? I don't know, ask your brother, he's one of them. People running damaged wings and causing issues to others. Anthony saying I'm on 10, promise. Well, you might be. I'm not going to say you're not, because, you know, you've kept your tyres pretty well, if that's the case. So yeah, fair play. But I thought you might have had a little bit more than that, though. But yeah, you've done well. People trying to act like me in Abu Dhabi. I like that you see the funny side there. Yeah, I mean, I think people have been, just pushing too hard. Again, as Jack said, there's a couple that have been on without their entire wing, still trying to stay on track, still trying to fight for position. That's why we had a rule in the past where if you did have some damage, you probably should repair it within like 3 laps. Obviously, if it's near the end of the race, I can understand it, but I do think that should still roughly be the case. You're a legend, Silky. Thank you for the raid to Malik's F1 channel. Very much appreciated on that one. If somebody is able to, could somebody pop the Twitch, the Discord link into the Twitch? That would be perfect, because I think it's perfect times 4 that. If somebody is able to do that, that would be phenomenal. But we will be getting underway, I think, on this lap for what would be a 3-lap shootout and a sprint to the end of this Grand Prix. Anthony leads, but look, he's on older tyres, 21 laps old. Hazer, Bolt, Mickey, 17 laps. V-Val, 32 laps on the hards. Again, quite astounding why he's on that. But Williams on 5 lap softs. Bird, Ivy, Bakey and Doug all pitted on this safety car, and they will be going to the end. Safety car in this lap, and Anthony will be trying to push it to the very end on this 100% race distance Grand Prix here at Vegas, round 5 of 12. Can your championship leader, the Bird, find his way through and end up taking a victory in the final 3 laps? The telemetry will be on, and now we can go back off because we've got a clean getaway. Anthony leads out in front. Hazer, Bolt and Mickey trying to go side by side, and he is under attack as well. But Mickey, can he find his way through and rush the Bolt? Not able to do so. V-Round still in the picture, but what about William? What about the Bird? He is going to be the one who needs to take places on this restart. Can he get something? He's going to go for it. Down he is on Willie Fernandez. Can Fernandez fight? Or will the Bird march on? He will march. He will fire. He will pounce. Oh my God, what a move on V-Row. What a delivery Vival had a half spin, he had a moment there, and what a moment of glory it was for the bird, who has found his way through, but he has wing damage. On the front right, he has lost his end plate. The bird has front wing damage at Vegas. Your championship leader is his potential win in tatters. Can he recover in these final 2.5 laps? William pushes away through on Vival, got the words out at the end. What can the bird do? 2.5 tenths to Mickey. He will be able to take him down the Boulevard Straight, going all the way into turn 14. He's surely going to get it. It's going to be incredible. Here we go, the bird for a place in the top 4. Now going down the inside. Mickey going to try and defend on the outside, but the bird got it. He can stick it. He will absolutely stamp it, and he's up into 4th. Bolt with a 3-second penalty. He will not be on the podium. Bird right now, with that wing damage, will get P3, but he will hope to take a couple of more positions. He wants the victory on the penultimate lap of this race. Bird just ahead of ARC Mickey. Ivy ahead of Vival, and Ivy up into 7th. William still there in 6th, looking pretty, is what he's trying to do. He's not in a fierce battle at the moment, but Ivy is charging close. Hazer, 2 tenths to gap towards Anthony. He is getting closer in this Grand Prix. Can he get himself even closer than this? 2 tenths to gap. The bird is outside of the 1 second window. He's not even in DRS range. He is in a lot more trouble now. What can these drivers at the front of the field do? Incredible stuff, and it is so dramatic between these drivers. Anthony Hazer, Rusty Bolt, who would end up taking the spotlight, taking the victory. We have 1.5 laps of racing to go before we go for the jugular on the final lap. Here comes Hazer. Will he go for the move? You've got Bolt as well. Maybe Bolt might even have a chance. And look at his car. Absolutely beautiful going down the Boulevard Straight there. Dargo overtaking Vival. He's up into 8th. William ahead of Mickey as well. William is into 5th position. Ivy through on Mickey. He's up into 6th. Charging their way through down the order there. But we are entering the final lap of this epic affair. Who will come home with the win? Who will miss out? They're going to go all out. And here comes the bird. The bird entered. He's got the fastest lap. Down he is on the Rusty Bolt. Side by side between the pairing. Unbelievable. Can the bird recover for 3rd? He's going to have to go round the outside. He may try a switchback. Again, he's got some wing damage. He's going to have to go for it here. Can he attempt to move on the final lap on Bolt before going down the Boulevard Straight? He's not got enough in him. He cannot take it. Anthony leads from Hazer, Bolt and the bird. Ivy ahead of William, who's having to battle with ARC Mickey. That's for 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th for Bakey. That's all for 5th, by the way, because Ivy's in there. There's a battle for the win, a battle for 5th. Who will end up on top of these 2 battles? You've got the tier 1 drivers, the elite drivers, all at the front of this. Anthony, Hazer, Bolt and the bird. And who will come away with the glory? Hazer is surely best placed. 4 tenths, half a second back. Down the Boulevard Straight we go for the final time here in this race. Will he get the victory down the strip into turn 14? He's not got a lot of battery in hand. He's really got to push it to the very limit. He's going to go down the inside, but he switches to the outside. Anthony on the inside, and Hazer's got the place. He's got the move. He leads the race. Hazer leads. 2.5 tenths to gap. Anthony, can he fight it back? He's going to try his best, but Hazer will hold on. Surely, he's got the win. Hazer, yes he does. He's done it on the line. And look at the gap, 0.051. Bird in P3, and Bolt loses out to him as well. But there you go, Hazer beats Anthony on the line to take victory at Vegas. Incredible battle, and what a victory it was. Wow. 2 hours of qualifying and the race, and it ends absolutely superbly for him. What an effort. And that is the victory wrapped up here this evening. Fantastic for him, and the podium celebrations will now showcase for you. There you go, the full race classification. Hazer clinching the win at the end after a last lap overtake on Anthony, who drops into second. Very good racing between the pair. And the Bird takes third. The Damaged Wing as well taking a fast snap, with Rusterbolt lining up in fourth. I think he'll be happy given he got a 3-second time penalty. William in fifth. You've got Ivy sixth from Doug in P7. Great results for all of these drivers. Bakey 8th, Mickey 9th with V-Row in 10th. Got a lot of retirements also there from Salty Siemens all the way down to Merck in 20th place. Wow. Yes, indeed, JJ on the TikTok. Absolute cinema. What a win. Yeah, what a win it was for Hazer. Can that be a chance for him to push towards winning this championship? We'll wait and see. He needs to keep up with some good form though, because he has struggled across like Japan. I think he had a struggle last week, I believe it was it? I'm trying to think. Qatar. Yeah, the likes of Japan and Qatar he has struggled at. So good to see that he has recovered and finally gets a victory in UFRL as well. So he's been waiting a long time. As he said, he's been waiting months for a win. He's finally got it tonight. Right, let's have a look then. What do we have on show for the week ahead here in UFRL? So having a look at the calendars. Right, tomorrow night, international tier, and it will be 9 o'clock p.m, 1 hour later than usual, obviously. We start most races at 8 o'clock. The only one we start later is tomorrow night, Saturday nights, and that will be held round 5, heads to Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix. Monday night, 8 o'clock p.m, for round 6, we head to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. So that will reach the halfway mark of the season, where the likes of the Bird, Deck, Hazer, Pesci all gunning for the title there. For Tier 2, round 6 on Tuesday night, we did say earlier on, or see earlier on the stream, it'll be held at Hungary for the 6th race of the season, retaining a spot in Europe, of course. And then Tier 3 next Wednesday will be 8 o'clock p.m, and it'll be a no hard tyre race at the circuit of the Americas. So soft tyres and medium tyres only. It will be a dry race as well, but no hard tyres will be in use for that one. Then next week in the 100% tier, it'll be our very first reverse grid race. And that will be held at Interlagos at the Brazilian Grand Prix. And that'll be next week. Reverse grid race. No qualifying. And the way it will be set up is you will have the development tier drivers all at the front. Then you will have all of the elite drivers. Obviously, they'll all be in their reverse order. So whoever's bottom of the development tier will start on pole position. And that will go all the way to whoever's top of the development tier. And then whoever's in the elite tier, whoever's bottom of that, will be starting the highest of the elite tier drivers. And whoever's leading the elite tier will start lowest down. And then you have all of the reserves. So the development tier reserves, and then you have the elite tier reserves. Brazil reverse grid, and let me cook, says Anthony. Well, we will very much find out. You did very well tonight, just missing out on the end there to Hazer. But yes, for this evening, we have been UFRL. I have been UFRL F1 Viva. Thank you for watching, and good night.